Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue our hashtag United series in Football Manager 2019. Episode 32 already, well and truly into Season 4 now. We've played 5 games. Of course, in that last episode, we played the first 2 games of the season. A 4-1 win against Redditch, which was great. A 5-1 win against Kings Langley, which was also a fantastic performance. And then off screen, we had a 0-0 draw with Cambridge City. It doesn't look bad when you think of it as a 0-0 draw, but Tom Humphrey was sent off in the 41st minute, and we moved stuff around a little bit. We had some people step off the bench and still put together a decent performance. We were unlucky to not actually get some sort of win or finish or whatever else out of this game. But to play a game for 50 minutes plus extra time with 10 men and to still come out of it relatively unscathed isn't a horrible effort. We then beat St Neots Town 2-1. Tash and Richmond, Scott Pollock getting the goals there. They pulled one back late on, but we were very good in this game. And then we had our first defeat of the league season. There will not be an invincible season in Season 4. Alvechurch beating us 2-1. We had a ton of different chances in this game. We just didn't really finish them that well. And they did. They finished their opportunities. That was the difference between the two sides. In today's game, we will play our FA Cup preliminary round match against Tooting and Mitcham. They are in the Bostic South Central Division 1. They've got some decent players here. They've got some guys on part-time contracts on alright money, so I think they're going to be a decent challenge for us. And then also we've got Lowestoft Town, who are currently sitting 9th in the division. At the moment we're sitting in 3rd spot, but there are still Cambridge City and Hitchin Town to play their games, and they could go above us as well. So important that we kind of get decent results here and get wins and stay in the promotion spots. Now, one of the things that we got in the last episode, Luke Murray, thank you so much for your continued support, mate. He said, after we went through and did like our season recap and had a look at some of the club records and history and whatever else, that we should have a look at who are some of the record holders for hashtag United now that we're 4 seasons in. So if we go into the history here, it's cool to look at just these green dots on here. First in the division, 3 seasons in a row. We're going to try and do that again in Season 4. I think it's going to be a lot tougher. But you can also see here, Harry Honesty currently holds the record for the most goals in a season with a total of 26. Tash Richmond's current leading scorer with 6 this term. And in that same season, Harry Honesty also got 24 league goals, which is the current record. 5 trophies in the cabinet, 3 leagues and 2 league cups back in the Eastern Counties Leagues in Seasons 1 and 2. Now our records here, there's quite a few massive things here that I don't think we're probably going to see get beaten in a long time. Most points in a season is the biggest one, 100 in the first season of the series itself. 76 was the fewest points we got. That was last year. We still won the league with that amount of points. Our most league wins was 32, of course, in that first year where we went undefeated throughout the course of the season. The fewest was 22 last season, still enough to see us get promoted. Most league defeats was 6 last year also. Fewest league defeats, of course, that big donut right there, 0 in the first year that we played. Draws, whatever, I'm not worried about them. Most league goal scores, 102 in Season 1. Fewest league goals, 80 last year as well, but still a tremendous amount. We've always scored quite well, or quite easily in these divisions. Highest attendance was 626 against Walsall Wood in the FA Cup preliminary round 2 seasons ago. So I'm kind of interested to see if we get a similar sized crowd in the preliminary round this season in this episode. And our lowest ever attendance was a midweek fixture in the Eastern Counties League Cup quarter-final against Norwich United, which we won comfortably. Biggest win, that 6-1 victory against Hythe Town from last season, only a couple episodes ago. Our biggest defeat, a 3-0 defeat against Histon back in Season 1, which was crazy. Oh no, Season 2 that one must have been, which was ridiculous. It was out of nowhere, and I think they actually got relegated that year, so I don't know where that performance came from them. High scoring match and high scoring league match, both a 6-3 win against Great Yarmouth. From transfers, we haven't spent any money on anyone. Anyone we've picked up has been on a free transfer. Same with anyone that's left. They've left on free transfers. We already spoke about Harry Honesty and his most overall goals by player, but the interesting one is Tashan Richmond has 110 league appearances and at the same rate has 60 league goals. Never been the highest scorer really in a season, but he has got the most league goals in all competitions in all his appearances. Highest average rating, Harry Honesty again in Season 1, 7.67. That's going to take some beating. Our youngest player, David Ramsden, he also scored on his debut there, so you can see him down here in that game against Eli back in 2020. Oldest player was Jamie Jackson, now favoured from town manager. We are still keeping an eye on him, and if he leaves that club, we will try and pick him up and bring him back, either as an assistant manager or as a coach or whatever else. Our fastest goal, 1 minute and 11 seconds to Harry Honesty against Burnham Ramblers in season 1, but late in season 1. And most goals by a player in a match, interestingly, Daniel Adji. 4 goals in that win against Great Yarmouth, that 6-3 game, which is going to sit in the record books for quite a while, I think. Andy Cade Watts with the most clean sheets by a player back in season 1. Most assists, Harry Honesty, 22 in the second season, interestingly. And most player of the match awards in a single season, Harry Honesty in that very first year. Our oldest goal scorer, Tom Williams, still at the club, still as a scout, 38 years, 321 days, from a free kick against Coggles Hall United. And our sequences here are just ridiculous. Most matches won in a row is 11 in season 1. And then most matches without losing is 41, the entirety of season 1. Most matches lost in a row, 2, which was last year. Most matches without winning is 4. There were some draws in there during that same period, or just after that same period. And most matches without scoring is just 1. So even when we lose, even when we draw, we still find a way to find the back of the net, which is crazy. Most matches without conceding, 4 games in a row, 4 clean sheets in a row is a record. That one might be a little bit more attainable. Most overall goals by a player in a season, Tashi Richmond has been our leading scorer the last 3 years. Of course, Harry Honesty, that record breaker last season. Interesting to see that Tashi Richmond actually was level with the highest goal scoring season, but he had less goals in league competitions, so he hasn't taken that one outright. Highest average rating across the last 3 seasons, Tashi Richmond 7.66 last year, Armando Shashua the year before that, and Harry Honesty backing it up in the first 2 seasons. Most player of the match awards, Tashi Richmond is so far winning with 2, Charlie Morley had the most last year with 9, and Harry Honesty over the first 2 seasons. And fans player of the year, which is always an interesting one, I think. Harry Honesty won the first 3 seasons. We haven't yet seen one for this year, so interesting to see how that history is written over the next few years. But massive thank you to Luke for his suggestion. If you have any other comments or things that you want to see or me to go through in these episodes, put it down below. I'll go and check it out at the start of each episode. We'll get it up, we'll get it ready, and we'll go from there. But more than enough talking from me. Let's jump into the game now against Tooting and Mitcham. Right, so interesting, looking at the pitch shape behind here, it might be tough for you guys to see, but it's a really long, really narrow pitch, almost the exact opposite of the square that we're currently playing on at Coles Park. Looking at Tooting and Mitcham's lineup, they're going with a 4-1-4-1. Nichols in goal, Thompson and Nicholson, who looks like an ex-Oxford United junior, as the fullbacks, Finglas their captain, and Uja as the central defenders. Jukes will anchor midfield. Ingram and Calverley ahead of him in the midfield, in the centre of midfield. McKendy will make his debut on the left wing. Kamanzi, who's their highest rated player, on the right, and Wilson will lead the line on his own up top. For us, relatively strong lineup. Jose Mourinho Jr. in goals. Tom Humphrey on the left wing, Tom Humphrey at left back, Ryan George at right back, Stamp and Singano in the middle, Hurst and Pollock will anchor midfield, with Pollock as a messiah. So Shua will play at the 10, Honesty on the left wing, Morley on the right, Tashi Richmond the big captain, and so far leading goal scorer up top. Just want to say assertively, Tooting and Mitcham have lost 2 of their last 3 games. Let's pile on the misery, and I'm also going to assertively say to the defence, I think there's a lot more to come from you, and I believe you've got what it takes, and they all seem pretty happy with that, which is good to see. And I'm not hell-bent on having like a great FA Cup run or anything like that. It's way too low down in the divisions. But if we can at least get through a couple of games, the extra finance that we'll get from winning those matches and going into higher rounds, and the potential of having like a home fixture against higher league opposition where we can get a ton of revenue, that would help us a great amount, because our finances are absolutely destroyed. Wow, so not a whole lot to write home about in this one. We haven't seen a highlight for either side since kickoff. 2 minutes to be added on by the referee. We've been the better side statistically at least, but we haven't really seen any highlights to show for it. I'm not going to overcomplicate stuff. 12 shots, 5 on target, and 67% possession, which is ridiculous. We're not doing that badly. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. Most players have responded positively, so no need to complicate it any further than that. The only really concern I've got is that Scott Pollock's on a yellow card, so we'll give it another 15 minutes, and then we'll have a look at our subs. But hopefully, we can start turning some of this dominance of possession and chances created into actual goals, because that's what we need to get through. Alright, here we go. First highlight. Nichols to take a goal kick forward. It's won back well by Shashua. Tashi Richmond now plays Scott Pollock forward. Back inside to Shashua, out to Ryan George on the right wing. Inside to Shashua again, who's just hovering around nicely. Comes to Lee Hurst, to Tom Humphrey. Oh, he's lost the ball, and thankfully Marcus Stamp tidies up for him. Back with Humphrey now. Shashua comes forward, strike from distance. It's not a bad effort, and Nichols does very well to get down to his left-hand side and push that one around the post. Shashua will take the corner now. Deep one towards back stick. Tashan Richmond's in the area, but he's going to have to cross again. Comes out to Harry Honesty, and I think he tried to shoot from an area where most people would attempt a cross or a pass, but hey, at least we've had a highlight. That's progress, right? Alright, I've got another highlight here. Nicholson to take a throw in. It's out to him again. Square ball to Calverley. Crossfield switch to McKendy, and he strikes from distance on his debut. First goal of the season for him, of course. And it's not great. We'll have a look at it in 3 dimensions, and then I'm going to immediately go and have a look at some subs. So Nicholson just comes across to Calverley, and our defensive line gets too narrow. And McKendy, to be fair, it's a really good strike, but it's not. From what we want to be doing from our defensive structures, it's not really what we need. So let's have a look at a few subs now as well. Okay, so we're going to switch to our attacking mentality, and we're going to make all 3 subs with half an hour remaining. Ricky Evans will come on for Scott Pollock just because of that yellow. Ryan Adams will come on for Charlie Morley, also because of that yellow card. I'm going to bring on Daniel Adji up top. Looking through our records and everything, those 4 goals he got is a decent reminder that he does okay when we call upon him. So assertively, I'm looking for you to make the difference. I know you're capable. Everybody, Daniel Adji hasn't responded that well, but he's kind of an enigma in the real world anyway, so tough to see if there will be any sort of response from the team. We've, possession-wise and chances-wise, we've been pretty dominant, but their one real shot on target they've had, they actually scored. So I don't know what's better in football. Maybe they're set up to be like this and to let us have these chances and these opportunities and get us on those counter, and it's worked perfectly. I'm going to also use a shout, and I'm going to say get creative, and we'll see if moving to attacking and using get creative will kind of inspire a few players and get some highlights on the board for us. There is an immediate highlight here. It's Kamanzi coming forward, back to Calverley, whose crossfield switch played in McKendy. Honesty wins it back to Tom Humphrey now. We've got numbers around the ball. Instead he goes long towards Daniel Adji, who was isolated up against 4 defenders. Finglas to Uja. Played out to McKendy, the goal scorer. They're not forcing anything here, but we've won it back high at the pitch. Adams now, crossfield switch towards Harry Honesty. He's got a man back stick if he can get a decent ball in the box. It's Daniel Adji. Can he get there? He brings it down, gets his strike away. Daniel Adji comes off the bench, makes his first goal of the season. It's an excellent, excellent response. I think it was Ryan Adams as well, one of the other subs that played that crossfield switch out to Harry Honesty. But Honesty just drags a couple of defenders away, puts a ball into a decent area. I thought Adji might have ruined it when he didn't finish first time, but he gets a touch in and he goes near post and the keeper can't get down there. And thankfully, we get a reward for our statistical domination so far. There's a highlight here for Thompson. It's a decent strike, hits the post, and it's coming out to McKendy again. He's got his 2nd goal of the game on his debut. And I've just used a shout as well, which will probably come through as soon as this highlight's out, demanding more. But, Jesus, McKendy, he's having a good debut in his first appearance as a footballer. Well, first senior appearance. I'm sure he's played juniors. They don't really pick people off the street and ask them to start in a game. But very frustrating. 18 shots, 8 on target, 66% possession. They've had 5 shots, 2 of them on target, both of them goals. Yeah, we've got a highlight. Shashua to take. It's a decent strike. It's going to come out to Daniel Adji. Can he get the ball back in? He wins a corner. Shashua's going to take now. Can we get another opportunity here? Back towards Finglas away. It'll come out to Ryan Adams now on the right wing. He's got men in the middle. Instead, McKendy tackles and wins the ball back very well, but brings the end of the highlight there. Did that shout work earlier? Demand more. We're going to hit it again. Shashua with a free kick from distance, and I've missed it because I was trying to do a shout, but it's an excellent free kick. His 2nd goal of the season. And maybe the goalkeeper could have done better. We'll see more now in 3 dimensions. It's a good curling effort. The keeper got to it. It actually bounced before it went into the goal, and the keeper kind of just fumbled it. Just did this weird little penguin side motion. Alright, there's 5 minutes remaining plus extra time. Demand more has worked. A lot of people are now focused. Can we create another opportunity here and get a late winner? Really, in this early part of the season, like to avoid any cup replays or anything like that. I'm not sure if this goes to extra time or if they come and play us at the Coles Park Square, but minutes to be added on. Is there going to be any late drama in this fixture? With a free kick, it's similar to where their first goal came from. Thankfully, Humphrey hacks it away, and the referee calls full time. So, not great. What does that do for our what does that do for our season? Does that mean our next game is going to be a cup replay? Unlucky boys, it wasn't our day. I'm trying to keep morale up as much as possible. There's a lot of yellow here that I really want to focus on turning green in the next few weeks. Okay, hashtag United missed chance to win. Yes, statistical domination is not everything. Marvin McKendy, what a game he had. Is he any good? Let's get a scout report on him and just have a quick look. I doubt he will be. He's 18 years old, so he's been around a couple of years and just made his first appearance. Actually, what's his long shots like? Because that first goal was an absolute screamer. Three long shots. That sounds very much like Football Manager. Hashtag United versus Lowestoft Town match rearranged due to the clash with hashtag United and Tooting and Mitcham. Okay, so change of plans. It's going to be an FA Cup doubleheader, just like that. Episode 32. Magic betting though, we're going to jump ahead to the Tooting and Mitcham preliminary round replay now. Alright, so interestingly, in this episode we went through and talked about our highest attendance. We are probably about to break that with this FA Cup replay game. 900 tickets, which would smash the old attendance record of about 600. Alright, so it's a heavily rotated lineup for us. It's only 2 days since the last fixture and we didn't have the fitness to get everybody back out there. So I thought, let's rotate the whole squad and reward, I guess, Daniel Agee for coming off the bench and scoring, and Ryan Adams for that crossfield switch. So Theo Baker and Aaron Couch will come in on the wings as well. Evans will come in and captain the side for Lee Hurst, just resting him. Pollock will play because he's fit enough. Gleed at left back, Brougham at right back, Stamp and Akeem as a central defensive partnership. Andy Cade Watts, the seasoned veteran, comes in goal. It's pretty much an unchanged lineup for Tooting and Mitcham as well. So hopefully, by rotating a little bit, we will have a bit of an edge and a bit of an advantage in the fitness stakes. It's just the match sharpness may not be necessarily where it needs to be. Assertively, if we play our game, we'll win. You're all very capable of that, and most have responded very, very well. And here we go, back at the square, which is more and more ridiculous the more I see it. Here we go, Evans with the deep free kick towards Theo Baker, back stick, it hits the deck and falls to Marcus Stamp. Is he onside? No, it's been ruled out. The linesman did call it early to be fair. Alright, Hakeem with the ball forward. Adams is going to win it here. Pollock now comes forward, played in towards Aaron Couch. He gets beaten out by Thompson. It's a long ball forward. Stamp wins the header very well. Adams forward to Agee. Can he find the strike? He hits the inside of the post and Ujar gets it away. And is that the end of the highlight? It is. I'm getting deja vu again because we've had 9 shots, 5 on target, 66% possession. They're yet to have a strike at goal yet, but I just get the feeling that this is what's happened in the last game and we're about to see something from Tooting and Mitcham that's going to be a ridiculous strike from probably McKendy again. And I've just used a shout as well. I said demand more and most people responded focus. So can we try and get another highlight in before the first half ends? There is only 1 minute to be added on. And no, there's no further drama. The referee calls half time. 10 shots, 6 on target, 66% of the ball. They've now had 1 shot, 1 on target and 34% possession. I'm just going to assertively say we're not doing that badly. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. And I'm also going to tell the defence that I have faith in them or that I'm looking for them to make the difference. And they've responded positively. We just need a goal. That's all we need. I don't think they're going to challenge us as much here playing away from home, despite bringing a fairly decent away support with them. But we need to finish one of our chances here if we have any chance of progressing through to the next round. Highlight here, Brougham take the throw in and plays a nice little triangle with Pollock and Couch. Couch loses out, but it falls to Ryan Adams. Switched out towards Ross Gleed at left back. Back inside to Stamp. We're retaining possession very well. Forward pass towards, but it's overhit by Gleed and Nichols comes out and claims without any dramas. Long ball forward, should be tidied up pretty easily by Marcus Stamp. Played out to Kane Brougham on the right now. He moves forward. Ball gets to Aaron Couch. I think Brougham was actually tackled. Deep ball in from Couch and Nichols comes out and claims again. I'm not sure if that was actually a highlight or if they've just put it up for the sake of putting something up. Right, so we're going to make 3 subs. There's 35 minutes remaining. Pollock will come off for Hurst because he's struggling a little bit, and we'll bring on Morley and Honesty on the wings and see if they can create a more clear-cut opportunity for Agee or Adams in the middle. Assertively, looking for you to make the difference. Very simple. And each of them have responded positively to that, which is great. And I've also gotten in the habit of when I bring subs on, shouting to get creative and seeing if that can push the team to create a couple more clear-cut opportunities or at least get us another highlight. A few players have responded well, which is cool. Nichols now with the ball forward. Done very well there, has Marcus Stamp. He's been good in all the highlights that we've seen thus far. Gleed comes forward. Played out to Harry Honesty on the left. Can he get there in time? He does. He keeps it in. It's a deep ball towards Daniel Adji, and he gets his header towards goal, but it's just wide of the near post. It's encouraging though. At least we're getting balls into the box for him. Evans now with a free kick from distance. It's hit the deck. Stamp has come back out again. He's onside. Back out to Evans. Can he get a ball in? Square one to Stamp. All the way back to Ross Gleed. We've still retained possession, which is good. Stamp. Back to Gleed. And I don't know why they continue to show us the Stamp and Gleed stuff, if it's just going to cut out there. But still, a shot on target for Ricky Evans from a set piece. There's 10 minutes going. I'm going to try out push forward and see how that works for the last 10 minutes. Just see if that can kind of push. Oh, they're all frustrated by it. God damn it. Okay, maybe I should have done demand more. And I dare say I've run out of time to try and use demand more again. Why do I deter from Old Faithful? Demand more. It just always seems to work. 2 minutes to be added on. I think this one is going to go to extra time, which is not ideal considering how many games we've played in the last few weeks. Alright, we're going to extra time, so I guess we just tell everyone 22 shots, 10 on target, 65% possession. We've statistically dominated Tooting and Mitcham, but what we haven't done is find the back of the net. Assertively, it's time for everyone to dig in and show everyone what you've got left. We'll start extra time, and we don't have any really subs to make. There's a couple of shouts that we can use at key points throughout extra time, but in reality we're just kind of at the mercy of the match engine and seeing what happens. Here we go, Evans with a free kick from distance, and it's just over the top. He's had a couple opportunities from the dead ball and we haven't made any of them count. Half time, so we'll start this second half of extra time, and I am going to try and use a shout in a moment. There's an immediate highlight. I'm not sure if it's just for the kickoff or if we're actually going to see something. We're not going to see anything. The game's doing weird things. I'm not sure what those things are, but they're doing weird things. And I'm immediately going to demand more and see if that can kind of spark a little bit of a response from the team. Here we go. We've got a highlight with Kamanzi on the right wing. He's bursting forward. It's a great tackle and run from Ricky Evans. Played forward towards Harry Honesty now, who has looked lively since he came on. In square to Ryan Adams. Played across to Daniel Adji. Morley to Adji. Gets his strike away. Daniel Adji. He's proven to be our FA Cup hero at the moment. Big Daniel Adji up top. Second goal of the season for him. And it's a good run from Honesty, and then he just cuts it back to Adams here. Played a ball forward, and I think Adams kind of messed up. I'm not sure if he was aiming for Adji or Morley, but Morley knocks it back to Adji, and it's a good strike on target. The keeper, perhaps unsighted by the defender, and it may have taken us 2 full games plus extra time, but we've finally taken a lead against Tooting and Mitcham. And can we hold on to it now for the last few minutes? Evans now with the free kick. He comes back off the wall, but the highlight continues. Evans now inside to Gleed. Evans again. Inside to Adams, who's got some space and can turn. Top of the box, Adams. Strikes from distance, and it's just wide of the far post. Nichols now with the long ball forward. It's won again by Marcus Stamp. Gleed goes all the way back to Andy Cade Watts. We held it a long time and then clears to Finglas, who goes up unchallenged. Calverley back to Finglas. Ball forward towards Kamanzi. Crossfield switch. Brougham should tidy up. Hersett heads forward, but it's going to come back to Baker. And is there a counter-attack on now through Lee Hersett? Evans now to Morley. Overlapping run from Ryan Adams. He's got man square. He finds Harry Honesty on the left-hand side. Can he find the finish? It's a great tackle. Oh, no, it isn't. It's a penalty, and it'll be Lee Hersett to take. So this would be the sealer for us. If we can put this one away, it pretty much closes the door on Tooting and Mitcham getting anything in the match. Stepping off the bench, Lee Hersett sends... well, he doesn't send the keeper anyway. The keeper kind of just stands still. But second goal of the season for him, and surely that is the sealer that gets us through the next round. So I guess, financially speaking, right, not football speaking, getting the FA Cup replay at home, getting a massive crowd down for it, is a little bit of extra revenue that we perhaps wouldn't have gotten if we had just beaten Tooting and Mitcham away from home. There's another highlight here. I've got to stop talking. I've got to stop jinxing everything. There's 1 minute to be added on. It's with Jamel Akeem, who goes back to Andy Cade Watts. Thompson to Evans, out left to Harry Honesty. Just head to the corner flag, Harry. You don't have to worry about it too much. Finds Ryan Adams, who gets his strike away, and it's just wide. The highlight continues. Nichols takes the goal kick. Still about a minute to go. Thompson to Adams, to Hersett. Back to Adams again. Hersett now on the right-hand side. Goes out to Kane Brougham. Ryan Adams, Brougham. 30 seconds remaining. We're not just going to play down possession until the end of the highlight, are we? Harry Honesty now has gotten through, gets his strike away, and Nichols with a good save. Nichols has had a good game over the last, really 2 games that we've played against them. Morley now to take the corner. This should hopefully be the last highlight of the game. Nichols comes out and claims, And as soon as he releases this ball, it should be the end of the game if the referee's sticking to the allotted extra time. And it is. Oh, we made tough work of that. But statistically, we absolutely trashed them over 2 legs. 36 shots, 15 on target, 66% of the ball. 7, 3, and 34 for them. But my word, what was going on in terms of our finishing? Team talk, a good win, boys. Well done. It's Danyaji that ends up being the hero across the FA Cup first preliminary round. Getting the goals for us in both legs to keep us in the matches. Quality possession provides victory. A good 2-0 win. Player of the match ended up being Ross Gleed in the end, who did very well. We get 3K, which is great. And the other thing, a new record 955 attendance, which is massive. The closest we've come to a sellout since we started this series. And we've drawn Buckland in the next round, who look like they are Bostic South Central Division 1. So same level as Tooting and Mitcham. Now let's go and have a look at our schedule and see when we might come back for the next episode. So it's never the episode we intended it to be. We didn't get to play that game against Lowestoft, which is a bit disappointing. I think what we might do is come back in September and do Cleethorpes and Halesowen Town, because they are currently sitting first and third in the division respectively. I don't know where they'll be in 2 games when we eventually come back, but they might be massive, massive fixtures for the season ahead, where they're currently sitting, and it'd be good to get some league games in there as well. As always though, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the continued support. Feel free to chuck any questions in the comments below, anything that you want to see in episodes, and I'll make sure I get it done, or at least get responded to. But more than anything, I appreciate you guys watching. So as always, I've been Sean. I'll see you guys again in the mixer, and don't ever forget to hashtag it.